Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, I'm going to be trying to do something new here on the channel. I'm going to be doing an NFL Week 2 game recap. Now, for those of you who do watch the channel already, I do Cleveland Browns game recaps because I am a Cleveland Browns fan. What I wanted to do is kind of go through kind of every single game that happened throughout the week. Not really do a full breakdown, but just like a quick kind of glimpse into what I thought about the game, how I thought the game went, and then so forth. I'm going to try to do this every single week throughout the duration of the season. So if you're going to enjoy these kind of videos, let me know in the comments if you want me to keep on doing them. But other than that, if you're going to enjoy, drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. So let's go ahead and start off with a Thursday Night Football match. We had the Vikings and the Eagles. Pretty damn good game. Vikings, they are a team that, it's like, they are just like last year. They are an extremely good team on offense. Defense is a little shaky. Special teams is whatever. But Kirk Cousins, holy shit, this dude might actually be a legit top 5 quarterback this year. Vikings last few years, they've been Kirk Cousins, do his thing, kind of average games. Running game was supposed to be the strong swim point. Now, the running game is the weak point, and Kirk Cousins is throwing that ball all over the field. But the Eagles side, Jalen Hurts, he's looking a little shaky right now. He's kind of questioning should they have given that money. But the running game, holy fuck, did DeAndre Swift go off. Devontae Smith had a good game, 4 catches, 134 or 131 yards. A.J. Brown, though, he's looking like he's turning into what Stephon Diggs was last year with Josh Allen. He's getting in Jalen Hurts' face almost like and saying, yeah, cool, we're winning, but I need some touches, dude. Overall, it was a great game. Vikings, going forward, they got to get better on defense. Other than that, I think they still have a solid squad. Now, they're going to make the playoffs. That's a tough one. Are they going to win the division? I don't think it's happening this year. When it comes to the Eagles, they, I think, can still win their division. The Cowboys are looking, I'm not going to lie, they're looking pretty scary this year. But the Cowboys are the Cowboys. They always fuck it over in the playoffs. So the Eagles, I think, are still in good shape. Next game, we got the Ravens and the Bengals. Bengals, Joe Burrow, I would say he looked somewhat better. 27 of 41, 2 touchdowns, the interception. If he didn't throw that pick, it would have been a touchdown. You would have been looking at him saying, man, that was a great game. But instead, we're looking at him saying, it was an okay game. There is question marks of if he tweaked that calf a little more and should have just sat out because now they're 0-2. If he would have just sat out, they still been 0-2 and he might have actually been healthy by now. Lamar Jackson, he played really well, 24, 34, or 33, about 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. They ran the ball well. Zay Flowers came up huge. Odell did get hurt, but I believe he's going to be fine. Takeaway from this game, Ravens are a legit, probably conference title contender against teams like the Bills, Chiefs, maybe some other teams in the AFC. Believe it or not, Todd Monken, he's making that offense actually look really good. We've seen this offense be a run-first offense the past few years, and they still are, but man, can they throw the ball. And when it comes to the Bengals, you're 0-2. You did this last year where you went 0-2, and then you went on a streak where you just won every single game after that. Can you do it again? I wouldn't bet money on it, but we'll see. You got the Rams coming up. Next up, we got the Commanders and the Broncos. This was a fun game to watch. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've said this, I think, before in a video. Obviously, I'm a Browns fan first, but at one point in my life, I lived over in Maryland, and I kind of developed a kind of, not really a love for the Washington football team, but just like, they're almost like a second team that I root for. So when I saw this game and I saw them go down 3-21, I was like, well, there goes that game. But when they started coming back, I'm not going to lie, I got up in my seat and I was excited. Sam Howell had a really good game. He started off a little slow, getting sacked quite a few times, but it seemed like there at the end of the first half when they threw the touchdown right before the halftime, and then they came back and I believe had another touchdown. Correction, they had the field goal. It seemed like they were getting momentum. Eric Bieniemy, that dude knows how to call plays. He's basically now proven I was not just Andy Reid's puppet. I can call plays and I can run an offense. Moving over to the Broncos side, Sean Payton, I think, fixed Russell Wilson. I mean, you take away the interception off of his stat line, the dude had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He played a damn good game. Broncos' only problem was they didn't really run the ball very efficiently. The only big runs they had was out of Russell Wilson. I mean, 6 carries for 56 yards. When your quarterback is your main runner, aside from the Ravens, that's not a good sign. The defense for both teams was pretty putrid. The first half, it seemed like the Broncos' defense was playing pretty well, getting sacks. But then the second half turned around, and it seemed like the Washington Commanders defense, they started hunting down Russell Wilson, and things just went downhill from there. Last thing I'll say about this game, what the hell was up with Washington's defense on the Hail Mary? How the hell do you allow that Hail Mary? Like, you had like 3 guys standing there. Just don't put it up. Don't try and catch it. Just smack it down. Just smack it down. And then obviously the 2-point conversion, I kind of think that was a pass interference. They didn't call it. It is what it is now. Next up, we got the Packers and the Falcons. This one was another good one. Didn't really spark a lot of interest in a lot of people's eyes because, I mean, it was two kind of like whatever teams. Falcons are always been like this average team, and the Packers are still this team that we don't know what they're going to be. We are now being shown that Jordan Love might be legit. Falcons, they've shown their identity. The Falcons are going to punch you in the mouth, run the ball right at you. They don't care how many times you stop them. They're just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. The Falcons used to be the team that choked leads. Well, guess what? Now they're the ones overcoming the 12-point leads. Now, am I saying the Falcons are going to be a legit team in the conference? I don't know about that. In the division, they got a shot. They're 2-0 right now. The Saints and they believe the Buccaneers are 2-0 at the same time. Panthers are 0-2. Do they have a shot to win the division? It's anybody's game in that division at this point. And then for the Packers, I mean, the defense is still playing good. The offense looks good. I think them not having Aaron Jones did kind of hold them back a little bit on offense. But I do think the Packers have a good chance to bounce back next year. Or next week, I mean. Next up, we got the Raiders and the Bills. Nothing really to say here other than the Raiders looked like they were going to fight in the first quarter. They had that first drive touchdown, and then after that, they just went right down the drain. The Bills, I mean, you can look at the stat line for everybody. They were throwing the ball. They were running the ball. They were doing everything they can to just beat up on a team after last week's debacle. After that performance that Josh Allen put up on Monday Night Football, 3 interceptions, oh, you know he was just seething. He didn't care who the opponent was. It didn't matter if it was the Raiders, Texans, Jets, again, Chiefs. He didn't care who the opponent was. He wanted to just beat up on somebody. Long story short, yeah, they kind of did. Going forward, Bills, obviously they're a top team in the league. Raiders, I think last week against the Raiders or against the Broncos, that was a fluke win. This game with the Seahawks and the Lions, this was a fun, entertaining, back and forth. There was some defense, but not really a lot, obviously. But the offenses were both great. Long story short, that one interception that turned into a pick six that Jared Goff threw, that pretty much cost the Lions the game. Believe it or not, Jared Goff had a streak of like, what'd they say, like 394 straight completions he's thrown without an interception. And that pick six just sent that streak right down the drain. Now, as always, I do think the Lions are going to be a good team this year. Everybody's going to have a loss. You're never going to go 17-0 unless you're God. But Lions, they're still a really good team. They have their defense. They run the ball well. Jared Goff, that was a fluky mistake on him. I'm sure he's regretting even throwing that ball. They'll get past it. But ultimately, the one way this game was decided, coin flip, Seahawks got the ball. Lions defense is not the best, so Seahawks moved the ball right down the field, got the touchdown, game over. Next up, we got the Chargers and the Titans. Titans, I believe last year the Chargers had a late game winning touchdown to beat the Titans. This year the Titans basically said, fuck that, we're getting our revenge. And also after Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions against the Saints last week, oh, you know he was just basically saying, my job is on the line today. My job is on the line today. Overall, both teams, they played good. I mean, both quarterbacks had a good game. Herbert, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tannehill, 246 yards for a touchdown. Both good games. Derrick Henry didn't have the most flashy style game. I mean, 25 carries, only about 80 yards, had a touchdown. Not the craziest of games. Moving forward, the Titans, they are like one of the most back and forth types teams. Like, they could suck, they could be average, or they could be elite. It's hard to tell what they're going to be. Now with the Chargers, they are like in the same boat that I think I said once before. They have everything there, but it's like always something that's holding them back, whether it's injuries or somebody not doing the right thing on the play at a certain moment. Coaching, something always goes wrong for them. Are they going to fix whatever's going on? I don't know. Next up, we got the Bears and the Buccaneers. Bears fans, I'm talking to you. Is Justin Fields the guy? And this hurts me to say because I'm an Ohio State guy. I rooted for him at Ohio State. I rooted for him whenever he got to the NFL. I'm like, man, this is the guy that's going to prove the Ohio State quarterbacks are not bad. Justin, you're failing us. I'm kind of scared to see how far this is going to go before. Is it going to be, where is Bears ownership going to go? Are they going to say this is Justin Fields' fault? He needs to go? Or are they going to maybe say, no, we still believe in Justin. Let's try a new coach. Because there's a part of me that says Justin has all the intangibles. He has the skill set to be a good quarterback. Just something isn't right. And I did see reports saying that they are trying to almost like turn him into a pocket quarterback when that's not what he did good last year. He did good when he was able to get out of the pocket and just take off running. Like, that's when the offense thrived. Now, obviously, you're going to say, well, they went 3-14. How did he thrive? Well, the defense was also god putrid dog shit. And it still is. Now, let's move on to the Buccaneers side of things. Baker Mayfield doesn't look half bad. I mean, 26-34, 300 yards, a touchdown. Now, I am going to sound a little bit hateful here saying this, but when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, you're going to do pretty good. I mean, they ran the ball really well. Mike Evans, Check out that stat line. 6 catches, 171 yards, a touchdown. Dude had a nutty game. Going forward, Chicago, you got to figure out this offense with Justin Fields. If he doesn't figure it out and you guys can't help him figure it out or something, it's going to be a long-ass season. Tank for Caleb. Good job. When it comes to the Buccaneers, obviously with this division being so god bad, they got a shot to win their division. Baker Mayfield turned his career around. Moving on to the Chiefs and the Jaguars, two very stagnant teams. We were expecting this game to be like a 41-37 type score. 17-9. That's all you could do. I mean, Mahomes had an okay game. Like, for his standards, we expected more. But, like, for the bad quarterback, that's a good stat line. So, I mean, he did have an okay game. Trevor Lawrence had, like, a very off game, if I'd say so myself. I mean, 9 points from that offense, that's all you could do. They had a couple opportunities at the end of the game. They had some back shoulder, like, back of the end zone type throws to Calvin Ridley. Couldn't get 2 feet down. He was getting 1 foot down every single time. Couldn't get the second foot down. But moving forward, I think Kansas City, as always, they're going to be fine. They're going to make the playoffs as always. Jacksonville, I think they'll make the playoffs as well. They're probably going to win their division. But it's a rough start right now. Colts and Texans, battle of the mids. C.J. Stroud looked really good. He looked really good. Nico Collins is turning into a pretty solid wide receiver 1 for him out there. I think the Texans offense is going to be pretty okay going forward. The defense, D'Amico Ryans, he came in there he was a defensive coordinator with San Francisco. He's coming into Houston trying to revamp this defense. We'll see where they go from here, but he's got a lot of work to do over there. Anthony Richardson did get hurt for the Colts. They were already up 14-0 whenever he went out. Concussion protocol. See where they go from there. I think he'll be fine. But I think Colts have a really bright future with Anthony Richardson. As long as he's being developed correctly, and so far it looks like he has been, they got a bright future. Going on to the 49ers and Rams, I'm pretty much locking it in. 49ers are going to the Super Bowl this year. If they don't go to the Super Bowl this year, I'll be curious what went wrong this time. I mean, they have an elite defense. This defense is hunting down quarterbacks like it's nothing. They can shut down a run game. Brock Purdy is making it look almost effortless out there when he's throwing the ball. It looks like he's not really even trying to do anything. It's like Kyle Shanahan is just scheming it up so easily for him. Brock doesn't have to do anything. Now, when it comes to the Rams have a decent future going forward for this season. At the beginning of the season, everybody was saying they were going to be so bad. But they don't look like a bad team. They look like a pretty solid squad. Now, could everything just flip upside down within the next few weeks? It could, but I don't see it happening. I see the Rams being a solid squad. Could they get to like 9 or 10 wins? They could. Very well could. Getting onto the Giants and the Cardinals game, this one was funny. I'm not going to lie. When the Giants were down like 20-0, everybody and their mama was saying, are they the ones tanking for Caleb now? And I ain't even going to lie. Josh Dobbs, after the Browns traded him over there to Arizona, that dude can play some ball. I mean, he was throwing it. He was running it. Ran over a defender. Got in the end zone. Josh Dobbs got some game. But obviously, we know Arizona's the ones that are actually truly tanking for Caleb right now. They made it look like they actually tried. They got up 20-0. They got back up, I believe, 28-7. Giants came back. Congratulations to the Giants for coming back. Saquon went down. That's a little tough. But Cardinals, it's looking good. You're looking good. You're going to get Caleb Williams. Good job. For the Giants going forward, Saquon's now down. I don't know if it's a high ankle or low ankle sprain. I haven't really read too much into it. But if he comes back, you'll be fine. If he don't come back, you got problems. Jets, Cowboys, nothing really to be said here. Cowboys are probably the second best team in the entire league, behind the San Francisco 49ers. Jets, if you had Aaron Rodgers, I would have been like, man, this game, what the hell happened, Aaron? But since it's Zach Wilson out there, I say, yeah, it's Zach Wilson. I mean, Cowboys pretty much going into the game, they said, Zach Wilson already sucks at throwing the ball. All we got to do is shut down the run game, and the rest is easy. Cowboys had a really good game going on. They sacked Zach Wilson a few times, had 3 interceptions off of Zach Wilson. They did everything right. Cowboys offense played really well. Dak Prescott had a really good game. This was like one of the most average games you could have asked for on Sunday. We got 3 more games here. We got the Sunday Night Football game. We have the Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots, 24-17. This game was fun. This game would look like it was going to be a defensive battle going into the game, and it was. Even though there was a good amount of points put on the board, Miami did have to work for those points. Everybody coming into the season thought Mac Jones, is he going to be better with Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator? He did look better. He put up some points. He was moving the ball a little bit well. It did take till the second half until they actually started to move the ball. But besides that, they did do really well. They were really close coming back, possibly scoring a touchdown to go into overtime or maybe even a 2-point conversion to win it at the end of the game. But they, I believe, had the throw that didn't make it at the end of the game. They came up short and the lateral to the offensive lineman, that was pretty funny. If that lateral would have worked, best play of the year. Going forward, Patriots, you're 0-2. Patriots need to flip this thing around really quickly. For the Dolphins, just keep on going. You're a top team in the league. you'll be just fine. For the Browns and Steelers, I'm not going to get too much into it. I've already got a video up basically dissecting this entire game if you want to watch that. It's annotation in the top right part of the screen. But like I said in that video, Steelers played a good game. Both teams were very sloppy. A lot of turnovers. Deshaun Watson, you got to get better. Nick Chubb, prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets better. And Steelers offense is still putrid. It's the defense that, I'm telling you, that defense for the Steelers can carry them to the playoffs very easily. If their offense got better, they'd be a scary team, but their offense is just not good. Going forward, like I said, for the Steelers, if the offense gets better, they'd be fine. If the offense doesn't get better, that defense has to be ridiculously overpowered every single week. For the Browns, Deshaun Watson, you got to get better. And the last game we had for the other Monday Night Football game, we had the Saints and the Panthers. For the Panthers, we kind of expected them to not be that good this year. I mean, they had the number 1 overall pick last year. They traded away a lot to get Bryce Young. It's going to take, this is like a rebuild year right now. Bryce Young had an okay game. Didn't do anything crazy. Derek Carr had a good game. He threw the ball around. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas were both making some good catches. Taysom Hill got involved a little bit. That was fun to watch. But going forward, Panthers, like I said, you're in a rebuild year. Saints, you're competing for the division. Maybe winning a playoff game. Who knows? But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. That's been my full game recap. If there was any of these videos that maybe I didn't kind of go over in the right way, or maybe anything you disagree with, anything I said in any of these games, as always, make sure you leave a comment down below for anything you maybe think that you disagree with, agree with, anything that I did go on to say. If you wanted to enjoy today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like. It's always appreciated if you do so. If you are brand new to the channel and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post a new video here on the channel. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.